Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new podcast. In today's encounter, we are going to discuss from the teachings of Imam Al-Ghazali in his book, The Beginning of Guidance, the section that deals with the sins of the heart. Specifically, we are going to speak about envy and regarding the purification of the heart and the things that damage our soul, our heart, our innermost internal um, core is envy. Imam Al Ghazali says that the blameworthy qualities in the heart are many. The purification of the heart from its vices is lengthy, and the means of treating these is obscure, meaning that it's not an easy job, that one of purifying our hearts, purifying ourselves internally. It's a lengthy process that takes our whole lives. In It is very shocking his words when he said the following: people are so lacking in concern for themselves and so occupied with the vain pomp of the world that the knowledge and practice of that treatment have altogether disappeared. And these are shocking words, but at the same time, it's a reality that in general, the majority of the people, because of the troubles and the structure of life, so busy is our lives that um, sometimes it's true that we even don't have enough time for things who are important. And this is in the case of those that try to do their best. And now imagine those who really don't care at all. And it's amazing how he said that people are occupied with vain things, following and pursuing things without value instead of concerning themselves with the most important thing, which is that of the purification of your heart, of your character, your ethics, the cleaning of your soul, the salvation of your soul, which is the most important thing for every human being. And Imam Al Ghazali says that we have to endeavor to purify our hearts from these diseases such as envy. And he says that the following: do not imagine that you will preserve a sound intention in your pursuit of learning while there is any envy, hypocrisy, or pride in your heart. And regarding this topic, envy, I will quote the following words from the Imam himself when he said the following: envy is a form of avarice, for the miser is the man who is niggardly towards others with his possessions. The grudging person is the one who is niggardly towards the servants of God Most High with the favor of God, where that is in the treasuries of his might and not in his own treasuries. So his avarice is greater. The envious man is the one who is paying when God Most High, out of the treasuries of his might, bestows on one of his servants knowledge or wealth or popularity or some piece of good fortune, and who therefore wants that favor taken away from the other person, even though he himself will not obtain any advantage from its removal. This is the depths of evil. So the envious person is the one, as the Al-Ghazali said, is someone that looking at his neighbor, looking at his friend, looking at someone else as his brother, look at his brother, another individual, and see how God has blessed this person with money, with wealth, with a good family, with a good wife, and this person, or with reputation, popularity, etc. And then this person desires for himself that which God has given to this other person. And sometimes the envy is so destructive that this individual will be happy if the other person loses everything, even if he doesn't get the reward. But if the other person loses everything, this person will be happy, the envious person. This is how Imam Al-Ghazali says this is the depths of evil. When someone um, wants for himself that which God has given to another of his servants. And regarding this, Al-Ghazali says, Hence the messenger of God, God bless and preserve him, said, envy eats up good deeds as fire eats up wood. Therefore the envious man suffers punishment and receives no mercy. He is continually suffering punishment in this world, for the world never lacks among his contemporaries and acquaintances many on whom God has bestowed knowledge or wealth or influence, and thus he continually suffers punishment in this world until his death. And the punishment of the world to come is even greater and more severe. Indeed, a man does not arrive at true faith so long as he does not want for the rest of the Muslims what he wants for himself. Indeed, he must be equal for them in will and woe. And it's very interesting, uh, very, very powerful words when he said, a man does not arrive at a true faith so long as he does not want for himself or for the rest of the Muslims what he wants for himself. Meaning that if you want the good things in your life, you should also be happy when God bestows his blessing upon his servants, upon your brother, upon your sisters, upon any other human being in general. Because God decides to whom he's going to bless, and he has blessed someone else. We have to be happy because at the end, all humanity are but one family under the heavens. And regarding this, God decides, like I said, and like the Imam said, whom he is going to bless with what things, with wealth, with money, with reputation, with popularity. And sometimes we have to always remember that sometimes he might be even testing how we behave when we observe that he perhaps is not blessing us in certain things and he is blessing someone else. But this even is a limited perception of the reality. But who can say that God doesn't blesses him? Because the very fact that you are alive is a blessing from God. If we really look and think carefully about how many blessings do we have, then we will recognize that God is continuously blessing us every single day. If you are able to wake up in the morning, if you are alive, this is a blessing from God. If you are able to see and open your eyes, this is a blessing from God because many people can't see. If you are able to hear, then that's a blessing from God because many people are deaf. If you are able to speak, then that's a blessing from God because many people are mute. If you are able to move your arms, your body, if you're able to walk, then that's a blessing from God because many people can't even walk. If you're able to think, if you're able to pray, if you're able to worship your Creator, these things in itself are a blessing from God that we simply take from like as a granted things, and it's not because many people completely are died already without the possibility of being able to fix mistakes or without the possibility of being getting closer to God. Many people that pass away would gladly come back just to finish something that they couldn't finish. And if we are alive today, we have to be grateful for that. And for many, many other things, if you have a job, if you have a good family, if you have a wife, if you're healthy, if many, many other blessings in our life. It's just that sometimes how many times if we really think deeply, like we've been going through difficult situations and we have seen the hand of God in these situations. And then in that right moment we say thank you God, and after a few months we forget about what God have done for us and then we complain. And this is contrary to the case of what the Imam Al-Ghazali is discussing here and what I am also explaining, and is the fact that envy destroys the heart. We have to be content and be thankful for the things that God has given us and never compare with someone else. If someone else has something else, we have to remember first, maybe God is testing this individual. Second, if he has these things, maybe because it's a blessing from God, because this individual have done something that deserves a reward. And no one gets anything if you don't deserve it. If you deserve it, it's because you have done something that God then decides to reward you because of that. But if you haven't done anything, then don't expect to get anything else. And like I have explained, these things that I just mentioned are a blessing in itself that we just take for granted. And we have to be thankful and thank God every single day for these things that are not small things. Being able to see, to speak, to walk are not small things. To be able to be alive, to breathe. Many people can even breathe in a hospital in a very critical condition, or they have to go throughout their lives with I don't know how you call it, but these oxygen tanks and trying to breathe. So we have to be thankful for whatever God has given us. So we have to remove from our hearts envy and jealousy, and accept whatever God has given us, because God gives to his servants according to the measure of his bounty and according to the measure of what we deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything is fate, predestination, and he gives according to what is written for us and according to our merits also. And he gives to someone else according to their merits. At the end, we have to be thankful for being having the possibility of fixing things, of repenting every single day for our mistakes and working for salvation, for the salvation of our soul. Therefore, envy should be removed from the hearts of every single human being on earth. And like the Sheikh said, it's not an easy thing, it's a lengthy process, but we cannot give up. Our whole lives is a stage, is a stages of purification, purification of the heart, the avoidance of sin. And if we make a mistake, if we have these kind of feelings in our heart, we have to remove them. And like I said, sometimes even envy is someone else who is even looking at the not only the material possessions that someone else might have. Oh, look at this person has such a good car. I wish I had this car and I want it for me. Or God, take these things from this person and give it to me. Or look at this house. I would like to have the house of my brother. Look at the wife of my brother. He would like a wife, such a wife for himself, and vice versa, husband. So we notice that these are things who are inside, they are mixed. The bad and the good is mixed in our internal, um we could call it personality, because the soul is pure, the soul is a part of God, therefore there's no evil in it. But after the sin of our first forefathers, then the good and the evil have a mixed inside, and that's why we have this internal struggle, the internal jihad that the prophet said, that every day we have to fight against the evil inclination, and in this case we have to fight against envy. And the greatest of all struggles is that one, the one against ourselves, the one against the nafs. This is the most important of all the victories that we can achieve, is the victory against ourselves, and the victory against envy is very important. I want to end this podcast with this reflection. Thank you, as always, for listening. And as I always like to emphasize, don't forget to like the video, share if you find this information useful, and you're welcome to leave your comments. Thank you so much, and God willing, we'll see each other in the next podcast or in the next video.